this door that leads. This is not good, and quite frankly could put the whole consideration of this as an investment property in the gutter. Hey guys, Tyler here. In this video, we're gonna be breaking down what you need to look for when you are looking at an investment property. We want to make sure we are buying a good investment, that we're not going to be putting our hands on a money pit. So when you're looking at renting a property or you're looking at flipping a property, what do you look for and what are the things that you need to make sure you stay away from, or things that are not a big deal? So if you're into that and you want to get started into this business, guys, it's not as hard as it may seem. You can do it. Hang out with me and let's take a look at this property together. Behind me is the property that we're going to be taking a look at. So we're going to walk around the outside and see if there's anything that we see that would be of concern. I'm looking for just cosmetic updates, something that I could put 10 grand into, then potentially sell it for $15,000 to $20,000 above. If I'm looking as a rental property, I'm looking for the same thing, something that I could put low investment in, that I could get a high return in my rents. So the first thing that I notice is that this is a brick foundation. So I'm gonna wanna take a look at the inside basement. The exterior of the house is vinyl siding for the most part, and it looks like the decking boards is a composite decking. So we don't have to worry about a lot of the exterior here. The roof has also looked like it's been replaced. I love seeing overgrown bushes. Basically lawn care that hasn't been taken care of. Now you've heard the phrase location, 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 and that doesn't change whether you're flipping the property or you're renting the property. What you want to look for when you're considering flip properties is it in a upcoming and trendy area? Can you get prices low, and are people moving in that direction? And in this case, this property is. It's not in a good school district, but it is in an up and coming area. It is surrounded by other rental properties as well, which could be a negative factor when it comes to considering it as a flip property, because as a homeowner, do you want to be surrounded by other rental properties? There's a good chance that answer is no. And when it comes to locations, everything isn't, perfectly cut square. There are things in give and takes that you have to consider. Up and coming areas, trendy areas, tend to not be in good school districts, but because they're becoming more popular, it becomes more desirable. You need to ask yourself, who is going to be the end user? Who is going to be the renter in this case? Well, in this area, it probably is going to be a young professional, maybe with some roommates, because they want to be close to the action. It's close to downtown, it's close to Blackstone and Midtown, and these are popular areas and people want to be around that area. So this potentially could still be a good rental property. Now, the first thing that I look for when I go inside of a house is floor plan. Does the floor plan make sense? Does it have good bones? Is it something that's going to be desirable to a renter? Is it something that's going to look beautiful if you're looking to sell the property that you could stage? So that's the first thing that I look for when I walk in a home. It looks like the trim around the windows have been painted at least 1,000 times. I mean, they're really thick with paint. And it looks like we have plaster. So when I first walked into the home, there really wasn't anything that stood out. I did love the absolutely tall ceilings that they had. And then the living room and dining room had a nice flow to it in those two rooms specifically. And the windows, there were so many windows in there and it brought in a lot of natural light. So I did really like that feel, and that was really my first impression right when I walked in. However, that changed when I walked into the kitchen and I walked into the back bedroom. And then we have this door that leads to a back room. And how they get to the backyard, that stinks. That smells pretty bad in here. What looked like a walkway to go to the backyard was actually the third bedroom. This is not good, and quite frankly could put the whole consideration of this as an investment property in the gutter. That downstairs bedroom really is a walk-through bedroom, so this really is a 2-bedroom house. That means I'm really only going to be renting it for about $850. So I need to make sure my numbers make sense for an $850 rent if I was to do some stuff with this. Really, my initial numbers that I'm looking for is, can I get 1% of the purchase price? One thing you really need to take into consideration when you're looking at investment properties, specifically for a rental property, because that's the direction this property is kind of looking like it's going in. What kind of rent can you get for a 2-bedroom home, and what type of rent can you get for a 3-bedroom home? And the best way to do this is to use Zillow. So let's head over to Zillow and let's check it out. So I actually have, this is the area that the house was in. It's $138,000. There's the home right there. So we know it's close to Cumming Street. It's close to Saddle Creek, which is right on the south side of that property. So we're gonna zoom out a little bit and we're gonna change from, you can see that everything else is higher. We got some lower priced ones, 130, it's a pre-foreclosure. Most of these are probably pre-foreclosure. This one's actually for sale, so that's what we're looking at. So let's change this from sales to rents. And we can see right here, just right off the bat, we have a $1,300 and a $1,400 a month property. Well, the $1,400 looks right here. This is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. The condition of it, nothing special. Wood floors. That's for a true 3-bedroom. And this 1,300 one, it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 900 square feet. Well, we just found out that this is not a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. This is a 1-bath, hard 1-bath property, and a 2-bedroom property. But really, there's 2 doors in this bedroom. One to the kitchen, and then one to the backyard. Nobody's going to use this as a bedroom. More than likely, it's going to be a storage area for bikes, dogs, for extra things that you may need, and that's what it's going to become. So would a renter actually use this, and could you get the $1,300, $1,400 in rent that these other potential properties with 3 bedrooms are getting? You may be able to convince a renter that this is a 3-bedroom and you could pull a higher number and you could try it out for a higher number, but you need to do that keeping in mind that it may not go for that and you may have to get a lower rent. Now for the basement. Now going into the basement is probably one of the most important areas that you need to bring your attention to. It's where the furnace, the AC, which is outside, but then you also have your plumbing and most likely electrical. Well, when I went down there, I couldn't find the electrical. The electrical is actually in that dog smelling room, that 3rd bedroom that they're using as, I think, would be a storage unit. However, the furnace was in good condition. The foundation surprisingly looked fairly well. It was in great condition considering. The only thing that I would have added was to paint it. If you paint that, it's going to look way better. It's going to be more attractive to a potential investor, a newbie investor especially, because I mean, when you have black stuff on red bricks, you never know what that could be, and just painting it makes everything look symmetrical. It looks clean, it looks fresh, and it's something I would definitely do. And then I took a look at the plumbing. Well, I always want to look at the plumbing because I want to stay away from galvanized steel. Is it a deal breaker? No, but I want to keep my cost as low as possible, and if I have to pay for replacing galvanized steel because it produces lower water pressure in a home, I want to stay away from it if I can. Well, this property had a mixture of copper and galvanized steel throughout the house, and you could see it right there. It just tells me that this was an investment property before. Another renter or another landlord just replaced portions of this plumbing, so they kept their costs low and they increased the water pressure so that there weren't any water pressure issues. Is this a deal breaker? No, but it could potentially be a cost down the road. Overall, here are my thoughts. This would not be an investment property for me. I would not want to flip this property for one reason. One, the surrounding homes are not other single family homes. So the likelihood that this is going to be bought by a single family member or a single family buyer is very, very unlikely. So that makes it less desirable to flip. As a rental property, it's more likely and a better chance that it would, and it will sell for a rental as a rental property to another investor. Will it be me? No, it won't be me. Number one, I don't like the flow of the house. I want to buy property that has good bones. The kitchen felt awkward. The living space felt awkward. Yes, you might be able to get it, but what I want to buy is I want to buy something that has a good floor plan that could sell very quickly in a different market. The market is crazy right now. Everything's selling. Properties that look like crap and normally would sit on the market for 6, 7, 8 months is selling in 2 or 3 days. I don't want to buy those property and hold them long term. Could I rent this out? Yes. Is there going to be any major problems? Probably not, but I don't want to buy a property that is the in-between a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom as well. That 3rd bedroom being a walkthrough to the backyard makes this bad bones in my opinion. Guys, if you appreciated videos like this, please like this video. I would greatly appreciate it. And also guys, if you could comment below, I would greatly appreciate anything that you want to see more of in my videos, or if you have any questions at all. Guys, I love you all. I really appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.